It's a sad reality. I think probably more people know me by virtue of my videos than actually know me in real life. I know very few people and talk to very few people as well. And the reality is that that's just how life works for somebody like me. I'm not a particularly extroverted person when I deal with people in a normal or public setting. But those who know me, I think, are pretty well aware that I'm not much of a celebrant of special days. And we're talking here things like Christmas, right? New Year's, Halloween. I don't really celebrate any of those. But one of the things that I think really bugs me even more, all right, and I promise you my intent here is not to be mean about this, is one-armed paper hanger day. You're saying, what on earth are you talking about, right? The point is, I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a setting like an office place or whatever, and either talked to someone or had an email in my email inbox that said something like, today is, left-handed oligarch day. Obviously these are ridiculous examples. And I can't even think of what a lot of the actual days were. Today is National Women's Suffrage Day, and this is the thing. Some of them are actually reasonable things that maybe it's okay to sort of celebrate. But the problem is, they're interspersed among the most inane possible kinds of days you can imagine. Okay, and the thing of it is, I've literally had one person tell me today is such and such day, and another person tell me that today is this and that day, and the two are totally unrelated. So basically, we've used up all our days, and we're going at it again. Well, nobody's using this day. Well, yeah, actually they are. Somebody has said 10 years ago that it was this and that day, and you're now telling me it's thus and such day, right? So. And this happens to days, and it happens to months, and weeks, and so forth. That they actually get this special status of, oh, it's a thus and such day or this and that day. And I guess what I'm saying is that we may as well just have a special day, right? Today is I hereby declare April the 2nd Special Day. This is the day that we celebrate the fact that we have special days. Does that sound kind of ridiculous to you? Well, this is what it sounds like when we celebrate days. And frankly, as I say, we have the same thing for months and weeks of the year or whatever. And the question that you ask yourself is not only who can keep up with these special days, but frankly, who really wants to. They're pretty much all, supposedly these special observances, yet most people can't even keep up with them, can't even figure out what day today is in terms of special days. Look, if you really want to celebrate special days, by the way, excuse me, you may hear my son in the background. Today is his day, virtual learning, and he makes a little bit of noise when he's up and about. But if you want to celebrate this day or that day, frankly, my answer to you is have fun. But don't expect a lot of people to join in. Even if it's something that they consider important, that doesn't mean that they don't have things going on in their lives that make it so that you celebrating National Prematurity Day is going to be something that they're going to celebrate along with you. It means something to you? Great. It's important to you? Great. It might be important to other people? Great. That doesn't mean they're going to celebrate that day or observe that day for that particular thing. As far as I'm concerned, well, it's pretty simple, really. I'm not going to be talking about this day or that day in anything but a casual way, anywhere, at any time. I literally don't do that for Christmas. I don't do it for New Year's. Okay? I don't do it for Halloween. I don't do it for All Saints' Day. I don't do it for Easter or Passover, as a rule. I am not saying that those days, Easter, Passover, Christmas, particularly, are not, for what they supposedly represent, important things. But the first thing that you need to notice is my use of the word supposedly, right? Because they don't represent those things. They just supposedly do so, right? When was Jesus born? What day? I don't know. And guess what? I'm pretty much betting nobody else by this point really does either. What's important is that he was born. When did Jesus die? We know that there's a day that happened. We know that it's a very significant day. Is which day it was all that important, considering that it really affects anybody who's a Christian all the time? I would say no. I would say that day is not all that important. Do I have a problem with your celebrating it? Not really, but that doesn't mean that you should expect me to do so, even if I'm a Christian. As I've said before, in my mind, what you do is you celebrate something like that all year round, right? But look, I'm sorry, when you tell me it's One-Armed Paper Hangers Day, I'm going to chuckle behind my breath and I'm going to walk on. I'm sorry, I'm just not celebrating that. And that applies to almost every day that has been put in place since probably before the turn of the century, 1900, not 2000, mind you, since prior to that, probably. This is probably true. I'm just not celebrating that, guys. I'm just not. Oh, Kwanzaa. Yeah, that was like 1966 or something. You really expect that I'm going to celebrate some holiday that you made up in 1966? You can make the argument that Christmas was made up, and you're right. But the birth of Christ, as far as I understand it, was not. And my celebration of that is not something that was made up. But the thing of it is, every single time, Thanksgiving, I hate to say this, but Thanksgiving, I'm not saying you shouldn't give thanks. I'm not saying that. In fact, I'll tell you right now, I think that's something you should make a standard practice in your life, is being thankful for what you have and how life works out for people in the modern day. But the thing is, if you start telling me, well, here's a special day that we're going to celebrate that, I kind of go, pass. I don't really care enough to do that. And it's not that I don't care about the people in my life, and it's not that I don't care about the wonderful life that I've been given, which, let me just tell you that my life is a wonderful thing. It is. It's true. But I'm not going to sit there and take a particular day and tell everybody, you must celebrate this on this day. Having holidays from work and using certain days as excuses for that, well, the holidays, I think, are important. I think it's important for people to be able to take time away from their workplace and actually do things other than work. So I think that's a good thing. And I think making it so that everybody gets the certain days the same off, I think that's important, because that way people can get together and do things together, though COVID-19 has pretty much killed that. Nonetheless, I think it's a great idea, right? I think it's a good idea for people to be able to get together on Christmas, on New Year's, on Thanksgiving, on whatever day it happens to be that they happen to celebrate in common. I think that's a great thing. And I think if you don't have that, making such a day is a great idea. I do. I think that people getting together and visiting with one another on some particular day, and frankly, if it's not one of those days, all the better, because it means you just do it because you're doing it, and because all of you can, right? But you're just gonna have to forgive me if I'm not gonna celebrate National Onyx Day, National Take Your Child to Work Day. I'm just not going to celebrate those. I'm not saying that you can't do the things that people are talking about when they celebrate them. St. Patty's Day, President's Day, which we basically turned into a supposed holiday, and it's not for lots of people, but because, quite frankly, we couldn't have Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday and blah, 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 for multiple reasons. So, yeah, you're just going to find in general that I'm not going to do that. I think if people were, come on, be honest. You there, be honest. You, that person. Do you honestly celebrate National Paper Hangers Day? If there is such a thing? Probably not, right? You probably don't even know it exists. So I'm just saying, it's okay to celebrate things that are important to you. It's even okay to have a day that you do that. But turning every day of the year into national this or yearly that celebrations is more than a little ridiculous. All right. I am going to go ahead and wrap up. Today is, as I say, Friday the 2nd of April of 2021. I don't even know if I did my little intro, so just to be sure, this is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host, I'm Kurt. Today is Friday, the 2nd of April, 2021, and we've been talking about Special Day. I'm your host, I'm Kurt, in case I didn't say that. Tomorrow will be Saturday, the 3rd of April. Welcome, by the way, and thank you for having joined me, for everybody on Rumble and YouTube and on the podcast. Tomorrow's subject, we're going to talk about entrenched power. This is something I think really needs discussed, and I'm going to do my best to do a good job of that. I'm trying to keep good notes to remember exactly what I was going to say about that. In any case, I hope you're doing well. It's a little cool here, but again, that's spring weather and sort of what you expect sometimes here in the great state of Arkansas. I don't know how things are necessarily everywhere else, but I hope you're doing well, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video was recorded on Friday, 2nd of April, 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.